And we are live. G'day, welcome everybody to the Average Man Podcast, episode number 120. Let me get rid of the metronome sound in the background. That's driving me crazy. Righto. So, episode number 120. I don't have a name for it right now because I'm doing something a little bit different with the music at the moment. I'm trying to get serious. I'm trying to become a serious, legit podcaster and YouTuber, meaning I can't use any material, any music that's going to be copyrighted and get me pulled down off platforms. So I've been, everyone that's been listening to this for a while now knows that I use sometimes part of a song, sometimes just an intro, sometimes a whole song, and then name the episode after it because I love music, and I started doing this podcast talking about music a lot, but it's not going to work long term because it's just copyright. So then I have a plan to kind of use Triple J Unearth bands, which I've done a couple of times, get permission from those guys and just use their music because it's unlicensed, unsigned, which is cool, but it takes a lot of time finding that stuff. So I've got a new system at the moment, which I'll go into a little bit later, but I'll find a name for it, we'll find some music, so by the time you listen to this, it'll already have a track at the beginning. Anyway, look, I reckon it's Sunday the 27th of March right now, and I reckon we're just kind of on the verge of change, in a few different ways. We've got like the start of football season, the AFL, if that's what you're into. I'm not, but if that's back on. The rugby league, which I am into, is back on. The weather's just sort of slowly starting to turn. You're getting mornings and afternoons that are like quite nice to go outside and do and participate in outdoor activities, which a month ago it was just gross, pretty much, all day long. It just gets humid and muggy in the evenings and in the mornings. So that's starting to change. We can start getting outside again, and doing a bit of exploring. And then also most of the world's pretty much over COVID now. I say most of the world because we live in WA, I live in WA, if you're listening to this somewhere else. The situation is that we're just going through our big COVID outbreak now. On March the 27th of 2022, we're in like the peak of it now, where everyone else in the rest of the world's pretty much done with it. Even over East and stuff, it's still a thing, but they're just managing it and moving on with it. We are just gone through our bubble now, thanks to our fearless genius leader Mark McGowan, who decided to shut WA down from the rest of not just the rest of the world, the rest of the country, all the other states. He decided to shut us down over Christmas and then for a prolonged period of time through the start of the year, and stuff everyone around and put stress on businesses and families and individuals, ruined holidays, all sorts of shit, just so we can experience the exact same thing as the rest of the country, the rest of the world, a few months later. So while they're over it, getting on with their lives, we've got restrictions and high caseloads and all that kind of crap going on right now. So well done to that dude. But we're getting, I think they reckon we're at basically our peak now. So you think another, and I know there's some changes coming into the month, some easing of restrictions, whatever the hell that means. So you'd like to think that in another month from now we're just back to life as normal, maybe with a few masks around the place here and there, which we can handle, I'm sure. If it means we can travel, you got to wear a mask here and there, whatever, as long as my kids aren't wearing them, I don't really care. You might have heard one of my kids in the background just then. I got my little daughter Heidi in the caravan with me. She's having some quiet time playing around on her iPad, and I'm in here doing the podcast. It was a bit of a negotiation between the wifey and I, so I could get out here and get this done. Because I do try and squeeze a fair few things into a weekend sometimes, and she gets a bit stressed out by it. Oh, geez, I hope she's not going to do that the whole time through. I'll have a chat to her if she's going to keep making those noises in the background. So last night was my 11-year anniversary, and we went down to the Spore Bank, took the ute down the Spore Bank. As I was saying earlier, that weather's starting to change now. You can go down there. It was really nice breeze coming through. Like, it wasn't the best tides for it. We didn't go right out to the point where we like to go. We just kind of went on the Spore Bank, like more on the cemetery beach sort of side of it. But it was nice. Got a little bit of a windbreak there set up. Had the all the fruit on the canopy in use. We had a little snack plate that I made up down there, like it was a pretty big snack plate. Had a bunch of stuff going on down there, bottle of champagne, some extra beers and stuff. It was cool. So and as I said, 11-year anniversary, it was a nice way to do it, because we normally go out for dinner or something, and there's just not a lot happening in this town at the moment, and quite often it can be disappointing if you're going to try and go out for a nice meal. The Esplanade can get it right sometimes. But it was nice to just go down the beach. That's like, we enjoy spending time at the beach. My brother looked after the kids, so we were kid-free. Left the dog at home, just the two of us. It was so much easier. We could actually sit down and have a good chat together, which we don't get to do quite often, because we've always got other people and animals and stuff to look after and run around after. But it was good. We sat there and had a nice little picnic, bottle of champagne, watched the sun go down there, and stayed there for another hour or so after dark, just like chilling out on the picnic rug, having a chat and a drink. It was good, man. Listening to some tunes. So that was cool, and I missed the podcast again last week. That's why I had to sort of make sure I got it done this week. Made a bit of a had a negotiation with the wifey, just because I'm sort of doing these video edits now. Anybody that follows my Facebook page will know I've just started. Not my Facebook. Sorry. Wait a second. I'm going to have a chat to this little girl back. Anybody who follows my YouTube page, will know that I've just started putting some edits up on there, which is cool. And I've been enjoying that. I've got some new software. Don't tell the missus, it cost me an arm and a leg, but it's good software, because I've tried doing video editing in the past, and I haven't had the right software, and it just never really worked for me. It's just, you spend hours trying to do simple tasks. So I coughed up some money, got some good program that I'm using, Final Cut Pro, and it's I watched a few tutorials on it, and it's super easy to use. So I've actually been getting some editing done lately, which is cool. Got that canopy walkthrough video that I was saying I was going to put up on there, got that done and up. Just like a 20-minute vid, and just some very basic editing skills by me on there, which was cool. So and I'm really enjoying doing that, but it's time consuming for sure. So like last weekend I was learning how to edit a video, watching tutorials, and spent more time on the computer doing that, and didn't just missed my boat to do the podcast. So this week I'm going to make sure I get it squeezed in, because I don't know, I'm doing the diploma of construction and building this year. You got full-time work, I've got the podcasts I'm trying to do now. I'm doing video edits, which is taking a lot of time, especially because I'm brand new at it. Then I've got the family. I like to spend time with the family, the kids, a lot of time with them. I've got stuff to do around the house, yard chores, trying to juggle all that, man. It's definitely a constant battle for me to try and get everything done. And sometimes I just don't. Sometimes I miss it, and I miss a podcast, and it pisses me off for the whole next week. But I definitely got to make sure I don't go 2 weeks in a row without doing the old potty. That starts getting away from you then. So I'm trying my best. But that video I put up, I've got a few little ones on there now, and that 20-minute walkthrough, as I mentioned a minute ago, it came out really well. I filmed it, most of it, on a beach in Bustleton when I was leaving, like directly after getting the electrics done a few weeks back. Filmed it there, beautiful beach, like in the morning, no wind, dead white, dead flat ocean, beautiful white beach sand, and then just finished it off because I didn't have the awning mounted yet, so I just did a little video of that, mounted and pulled out and everything at Spallbank a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago I think, and then finished editing that video and put it up, and it's good. People are starting to view it, that I've been running that YouTube channel for a little while, putting bits and pieces up, mostly stuff I film off my iPhone, and just getting no traction really whatsoever on there. I was kind of using it more like an extension of my Instagram, I suppose, which is, you got Instagram for that reason, for just stuff on your phone. So that video is getting more views, 10 times more views than anything else I've put up already, which is cool. So people are enjoying that, and I've got some good feedback off it. So yeah, that's all in motion now. I'm going to just keep working on that, make sure I keep filming, and keep up with the editing, and just try and put something out, if it's something small, once a week, once a fortnight type of thing, and keep that page just growing. I'm filming this podcast right now as well, so if you're listening to this, I'm filming this one on the GoPro. See how it turns out. I'll have to do a little bit of editing because I've stopped it a couple of times already to chat to my daughter, and then just trying to remember that I'm filming to make sure I actually look at the camera, because I used to film on the iPhone as well, when you kind of got the reverse screen, you can see yourself there, you're looking at yourself as you're talking. It's a little bit more, I find that easier to look at myself when I'm talking. Helps me be interactive and engaging. So learning how to do that with just the black box that is the little black rectangle that is a GoPro is something that I'm just playing around with. But I definitely want to start fleshing that channel out, put the podcasts up there as well, so that when people go there, there's a whole bunch of shit they can pick and choose, and might also attract other people to the podcast, to the YouTube page who haven't heard the podcast, and they'll see the potties on there and click on and have a listen. Hopefully bring them back over to the podcast side of things. A little bit of cross insemination. Yeah, and I mentioned earlier I'm doing something different with the music now, because I downloaded an app. Well, it's a web page, I guess. Yeah, I've got a subscription anyway to this Epidemic Sound web page service, whatever, and they got all independent music on there, and they got like thousands of songs and like some good quality music. So they're not like popular songs from, like licensed music, but it's actually some pretty good music. So I'm using that as background music, and I'll probably use some of that as intros for the podcast when I don't have time to do the whole Triple J Unearthed thing. That just takes a fair bit of time for me to scour through the Triple J Unearthed websites, find a few bands I like, get in touch with them, see if I can use the music. Then I'm still trying to figure out the best way to pull that over. So in the meantime, in the interim, I'll probably just use some of the sound off this, some of the songs off this webpage, this subscription I've got, just pull those over for a bit of intro. We're just still playing around with it, trying to adapt, figure out the best way to do this so it sounds good, sounds professional, and can kind of streamline it a little bit from my end as well, because I'm figuring everything out on the fly. And as I said, I'm always working with limited time, which is not a bad thing, really, just to be as efficient as you can anyway. So, but yeah, so far so good. The music, the music on there is good. I'm just on the 1 month free trial, and then if I continue to like it like I am so far, I'll just commit to that and keep that subscription running. Yeah, just as I said, trying to streamline the whole thing a little bit. And the laptop, I've got the new laptop. As I said, I've done a few video edits on it now. So far so good, but I did get stitched up on the laptop, which I'm pretty dark about. I guess partially my fault, but definitely somebody in town that has a computer tech business. I won't say the name, but I was getting advice from them before I bought the bloody laptop, because I wanted to get a 32 gig machine to make sure I had a lot of memory, like 32 gig of RAM, a lot of memory for editing videos specifically. So, it takes a lot of memory up. You want a lot of speed while you're doing that, so you're not sitting there waiting for ages to upload and edit and move files from one place to another. And the discussion was like, if I got the 32 gig upgrade through Apple when I bought the laptop, it costs you like $660, I think it was. And this person said, "What? Nah, all good. Show me the specs, and I'll tell you if I can do it." Showed him the specs of the laptop. Said, "Yeah, we can do that. $250 or something." I was like, "Done, awesome, sweet." And I'll use someone local in town. I love helping people out in town as well. Bought the laptop. Took it into the dude who said he could do it for me. I'd paid for the memory card already, just had to pay for the actual installation of it, or for the of the RAM, and drop it off to him. And the dude calls me back, goes, "Oh, I've got an issue with this." I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on?" He's like, "This is a brand new Apple Mac, and there's no way you can add memory to these. I didn't know these were out yet." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I went in and saw him, and basically they're not like most other computers in the world where you can just sort of plug and play a new memory, like stick or whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely not a computer tech, but you can like plug and play a new memory stick into them and double your memory. The memory on these things, the memory card is soldered to the motherboard, and there's no way of upgrading the memory once you've bought it with that amount of memory on it. And I was like, so what, do I need to send it back to Apple and they'll do it and charge me a fortune? It's like, no, you can't do it at all. And then as soon as I started Googling, yeah, he's right, you can't do it at all. And it's common knowledge among all computer people that this last couple of models have been like this. This shouldn't have been news to the dude, man. It pissed me off because I took his advice, tried to get, obviously my fault, we're trying to go a little bit cheaper and get it done, you know, save myself $350 or something more, $400 nearly. But you know, don't give advice if you don't know what you're talking about, man, because now I've got this computer that I've waited literally like 2 years to buy because I was putting it off and using money for other things, and I've bought this computer that I'm going to have for the next 3 to 5 years that's got half the amount of memory on it that I wanted, because someone told me they could do something that they couldn't. And if they'd have just done a little bit of research, because I sent them all the specs on it, they could have said, no, I can't upgrade the memory on that one, you'll have to get it done from Mac. So I was furious about it, but like, what do? There's no point going on about it, making a big scene. I just kind of copped it on the chin and went, all right, mate, no worries. Let me know if you sell that memory stick and I can get my money back at least for that. So I was pretty dark on that, man. And so far so good. I've done that 20-minute video I've uploaded. It was fine. I didn't worry about the speed of it when I was doing that. The internet speed's still an issue here. Uploading to YouTube can be a nightmare, time consuming. That's the internet speed more than anything. I'm going to play around with file size when I'm doing that as well to try and cut that down. Our internet's just absolutely shit here. But so far so good. But like I said, it's only a 20-minute video. I want to start building up to doing 45-minute, maybe hour-long videos. I don't know how this machine's going to handle it, if it's going to be, you know, painful waiting for it. So we'll just see. But super disappointed about that, man. What else going on? I booked the old broom. Booked broom for Easter back at the caravan park. So looking forward to that. That's like, I think we're going on the 15th of April. So probably 3 weeks away, a little under. That'll be good. Get back to Broome, get back to the caravan up there. I do have a bit of maintenance to do on the old van though, because it's been so hot. We really haven't used this for anything except podcast studio since October last year when we last went to Broome. And I believe I told the story on the podcast, but that was when the trip home, the gas bottle fell off its bracket, rattled off and fell off the bracket and fell underneath the caravan and was bouncing around, sliding back and forth along the axle, hit one of my tyres, burst a tyre. Luckily didn't explode while it was dragging along the road, bouncing between the axle and the road. Also put a big ding in the front of the caravan, well, not a ding, a hole in the front of the caravan, which I'm yet to patch. So I've got to get a new tyre sorted out, put back on. I'm running the spare at the moment. I need to patch the hole at the front of the caravan, remount the beefed up, re-welded gas bottle holder to the front drawbar there. A few little bits and pieces, and get her ready to get back on the road for Easter. So that's a little project for me to do over the next couple of weekends. I'm always good at doing things last minute. I may have left it sitting here for November, December, January, February, the better part of 5 months so far, but now I've got to go. I'll get out there and get those things sorted again. It was hot as balls lately, man. I didn't want to be out there working on a caravan in 45-degree heat. Freaking not interested. I wasn't using it, so I wasn't fixing it. So now we're going to use it. We'll get it sorted and fixed up, and get her back out and about, and get the canopy out there on Cable Beach. Trying to take the pup with us as well, because that caravan park we stay at is animal friendly, dog friendly. So we'll take the little pup with us. I've only got the one dog now, as you guys know, because Lily got hit by a car. But yeah, we'll take the pup with us, and it'll be good to get out of town, good to get up to Broome, swim in the swimming pool, hang out at Cable Beach, eat and drink at a decent pub because we don't have any in town. Sort of. We've got a couple. The Esplanade's alright, the Walkie's pretty good, but you know, it's pretty lame entertainment wise in town at the moment. I won't go into that, won't go on my negative Nelly. spin off for that. It's important to stay positive, and yeah. No one needs a big list of all the things wrong with town at the moment, so I won't go into it. It is important though. I've got a list of things that's important to do here. If I can get that back up again. Tell me what you think about these. It's important to, I think it's important to remember to take your mask off when you leave the shops, so you're not walking around outside with it on, talking to people, or driving in your own car with no one else in the car with your mask on. You see those people around the place, they're like driving down the street in just their own car with a mask on. Like, oh, dude forgot to take his mask off when he left the shops. Or I'm speaking to people at work or outside, they're like outside in the sun doing like yard work or something. I'm like, dude, you can take your mask off, eh? Oh shit. Get the old mask, you just forget it becomes a part of you. Important to take that sucker off when you leave the shops or whatever other indoor place you're forced to use it, forced to wear it. So it's important to explain to people that you've just washed your hands when you go to the toilet and you come out and you've washed your hands, and they've just rocked up and they see you walk out of the bathroom and you shake their hands. It's important to explain to them that I just washed my hands, so they don't think that you've pissed on your hands and now they're shaking them. That's something to remember in life. Very, very important. It's important to remember someone's name preferably the first 2 times, but definitely within the first 3 times of meeting them, at the very worst. Otherwise, you're doomed to call them like mate for the rest of time, for the rest of your involvement with that person. They just become mate, or whatever your term for endearment for people whose name you don't know is. Mine's just mate. Yeah, how you going, mate? Can not remember this dude's name. Dude, you can call him dude, but mate's just straight down the middle, nice and safe. How you going, mate? Can't remember your name. You've told me it 3 times, but that's it. That's done. I'll never know your name now. And I've even been crafty and then asked someone else to tell me their name, or you do the introduction. You do the introduction where you introduce them now to your friend or your partner. It's best if you give the other person a heads up of what's going on, but you introduce them and don't say anyone's name, so they're forced to tell them each other their own names, and you can go, got it, dude's name's Ken. But I feel if I didn't get it in the first 3 opportunities, I'm doomed to just keep forgetting it. We had a guy at my old house back in Perth years ago. We were the first house on the street. There was no other houses on the street, new subdivision. He was the second house on the street, so we were literally the only 2 people on the street. We were our only neighbours, right? I had no excuse. I'm pretty sure the guy's name was Paul, but his dog's name was Dave, and it just fucked me from the beginning. I was like, Dave's no name for a dog. That's my name. Is his name Dave? I was like, I think his name's Paul, and he told me it 3 times. And I kept forgetting, and I was pretty sure it was Paul, but not confident enough to call him Paul openly in conversation. So it was just mate for like a year or more, and then it became obvious that he knew I didn't know his name, and then I just started ignoring him, avoiding. We started avoiding each other, just kind of a quick little wave of the hand and go about your business, because it was just, I was ashamed. I didn't know his bloody name. How embarrassing. He knew I didn't know his name, so he was like, fuck this guy, I didn't even know my name. And we've been neighbours for like 2 years, so I dropped the ball on that one. You got to remember people's names in the first 2 to 3 goes maximum. It's important. I think it's important to execute a bro handshake correctly, or you lose all credibility with said bro. You go up, you catch up with someone, that, how you going? And you see that they'll throw the hand out like sort of to the side, and you got to quickly gauge what kind of handshake does this dude run. Certain people like Kiwis will have a certain type. Guys in certain places, like if it's in Headland, they've probably got a certain type of handshake they do. There's a few variations on it, and you're expected to know what variation is going to be busted out without any prior conversation or discussion about it. So that hand comes out sideways, you see someone, hey, how you going, bro? You better quickly get it together. And if you're not sure what handshake you're doing, you're better off taking control of the situation and forcing a certain, so the slap, the hand together, the finger, and then like the finger, and then the punch. If you watch it on the YouTube, will make more sense. And then the punch at the end, whatever it is, that's probably my go-to. Or sometimes just you don't want it to drag out and get complicated. Just hit them, give them the side one, and just hold on to their hand and give it a little shake. And you can always do a little bump after that, but you've got to execute it correctly and confidently, or you lose all credibility. It's awkward, and then you'll never get the handshake again. They'll, hey man, how you going? I'm not fucking put my hand out there in public for you to fucking bumble it and make a fucking mess of this whole thing. So it's important to execute a bro handshake correctly. I think it's important to... What's this? I think it's important to try and drive on the beach or in soft sand as long as humanly possible before letting any air out of your tyres. The missus will tell you, do you need to let air out tyres? Nah, we're all good. Just chug on, keep the speed up, keep going. Try not to stop and pull over and let air out of your tyres. No one wants to do it. You've got to let the air out the tyres. Then you know that when you get off the sand, you've got to pull up for 10 minutes and pull out the air compressor and pump them all up again, or try and crawl to the nearest service station. It's a hassle. You've got to just push through. Don't worry about it. Just go on slow. Drop down to 4 low if you have to, but it's important to drive as long as you humanly can as possible. Unless you're going to be on the beach all day. But if you're just there for an hour, you're there for one quick trip out to, say, the Spall Bank and back, just you got to drive as long as you can, as long as humanly possible, without letting air out of your tyres. Very important. I think it's important to keep moving when you see someone you know at the shops. Even when you say good day, don't get stuck there for a long drawn out conversation that you don't really have any interest in. When you're only at the shops to get some bacon and ice cream and get the fuck out of there. You're not there to stand for 15 minutes talking about life and this and that. And you say, hey, how you going? Good day. You keep moving. Let them know that you're not going to stop and engage in a long drawn out conversation. Because you see people, they're just there, they're stuck, and they go in the shop for 5 minutes, a couple of groceries, a couple of consumables, and then they're stuck there. You need to get onions so you can cook the curry for tonight, and you're stuck there for half an hour talking to someone. Oh, bloody clown. It's important you just keep moving, let them know that you're not interested. And it's also important when you're having these conversations at the shops with loose acquaintances, to refrain from saying, oh yeah, we'll catch up soon. When you know you're not going to catch up, you've got no intention of catching up anytime soon whatsoever. You refrain from saying it, yeah, we'll catch up soon. And also be sure to let them feel a slight uncomfortable gap when they say this first. So if they're the ones, they go, oh yeah, we'll catch up soon. Just nod, let them hear it. Let them hear that it resonate back to them, and they're thinking, we're not going to catch up soon. Let them feel that just a little bit. It's important. You're not being nasty. It's important for their development and their growth that they understand as well, not to do that. Yeah, we'll catch up soon. No, we won't. We haven't caught up for the last 2.5 years. We're not going to catch up soon. Why are we saying that? So if they say it, let them feel the sting a little bit, and then go, yeah, righto, mate, good to see you. And then get back on your way. Remember, you shouldn't have stopped talking. It is what you get for stopping to talk to people you loosely know at the shops anyway. You get these awkward situations pop up. So it's your own fault if you're in that situation. Just make sure you don't say we'll catch up soon, alright? It's just not going to happen. I think that's it for this week. I just do want to mention one thing before I go. Flies. What's the deal with flies, mate? They're dumb. They've got to be dumb, right? But they seem to know when you've got your hands full. So you're walking back from the shops after having an awkward conversation with some dude you don't really know that well, and you told him you're going to catch up soon, thinking about why you're such a dickhead, walking from the car back to the house, hands full shopping, and the fly goes, now, get him now. And they just come in, they double team you, they come in, one flies in between your glasses and your eye, starts going back and forth, and then as you're screaming, because you can't swipe it away with your hands are full of shopping, one goes in your mouth, down your throat, straight down the back of the throat. And also very important, when you get a fly down the back of your throat, now you're in a situation, you can either sit there hacking and coughing and trying to get the bloody thing up for 5 minutes. So occasionally you will see it fly out in a little pile of spittle on the floor, and congratulations, that's the best you can do out of the situation. It's not very glamorous, but really the best option to do is to just commit to it, swallow the damn thing. It's in the back of your throat. Give it a big hard swallow, and admit it out loud. Yeah, I just swallowed a fly. Yep, I just ate a fly. Just be a man about it, be a woman about it, whatever whoever you are. Be solid in your decision. Swallow that damn thing and get on with your life. Those bloody flies, mate, they come at you. They know what's going on. I tell you, they know when to get you. Smarter than they look, those little pricks. I reckon that's enough for me this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Yeah, please get on that. That was a bit like bit beggy, wasn't it? Please, bit desperate. That's the word, beggy. I don't think beggy is a term that people use. It was a bit desperate. But go and get on the YouTube channel, get on the Instagram, like it, share it with people you know, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Let's get a few more clicks up on there, mate. I'm going to be putting way more content on there now as well, make it worth your while. So yeah, follow along and give me some feedback too. If the video's good, you like it, let me know. If I'm saying all the time and it's pissing you off, let me know. I'll work on it. If there's something else you don't like, tell me. And you know, this is the best. Just said it again. This is the best way to get better at something, is to get some constructive criticism. I've got thick skin, I can take it. Don't worry about my feelings, I'm all good. Thanks for listening, dudes. I'll speak to you later on. We'll go for the Double Banger podcast again next week. See if I can get a rollback happening, video and a podcast each week. Alright, take it easy, peace out. Average Man Podcast 100, episode 120, motoring along. Righto, peace.